Good morning and welcome to another episode of Behind the Spotlight. Today we're doing it from the car because I got to have a nice little coffee with a former client to talk about what she's doing in PR. But today we're going to be talking to Mindi Huebner. She's going to come on and say hello in a second. What I really love about Mindi is she is an intuitive mindset and mastery coach, certified in the NLP, clinical hypnotherapist. For achieving women around the world to reprogram their subconscious work, which is just amazing. I love how Mindi actually helps people in understanding who they are subconsciously. So I'm going to bring Mindi up to have the conversation about why we need to be aligned and what that actually. There she is.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Mindi. How are you?
Well, how are you?
Good. So happy to have you on. I was just reading your little bio, but I love how you talk about rewiring their brain so they can grow and scale their business without trying to out hustle their beliefs. What do you mean by out hustle their beliefs?
Our brains are amazing and powerful, and we are always winning the game that we're playing. So remember that you're always winning the game that you're playing. You're thinking a thought habitually over and over again. Rest is lazy. This was my thought. Rest is lazy. It becomes a belief. It is just implanted in us. It becomes part of our identity. We then are so powerful, we create habits to prove it. So if I believed rest was lazy, and I did for many years, how do you think resting turned out for me? Like, I could not out hustle that. I could.
Oh, I hope Mindi's still there. Yeah, I understand what it means by not being able to out hustle that and not being able to, create that opportunity for yourself to not feel lazy and not, here she comes back, and to reprogram what those words are in your brain, because I too, like you, have those as well. Let's see. There she is.
I don't know what happened.
Okay, keep talking.
Technical difficulties. So since we're always winning the game we're playing, we cannot out hustle our limiting beliefs. If you believe that rest is lazy, if you believe that, yeah, exactly. Carrie says too high a frequency, 100, my friend, 100. If you believe that rich people are, insert really not nice things here, you cannot out hustle your beliefs. You cannot go against your identity and your core, because those are subconsciously programmed things.
And
So
how do we get subconsciously programmed? Is that from our upbringing, TV, everything that's coming at us all the time?
yes, yes, and yes, it is. It's from childhood. It's from decisions that we've made, because your brain deletes, distorts, and generalizes based on your beliefs. So it's got a filtering system. If we didn't have a filtering system, with the amount of data that comes at us in any given day, our brains would be that exploding emoji, right? The head exploding emoji. So you've got two filtering systems. Your brain is deleting, distorting, and generalizing based on your belief.
Okay.
So it's showing proof of your belief that rest is lazy. It's showing you proof of your belief that rich people are,
right.
Insert not nice things here, right? If you're looking to grow and scale your business, it's showing you that proof. The other thing we have is our RAS, our reticular activating system, another filter that is bringing us what we anticipate and what we expect.
My mind is blown when it comes to this stuff, because I always think about, what am I not even conscious about that I'm subconsciously creating in my life? And how do I fight? So like what comes up for me is like, I fight against, I'm not doing enough. I'm not gonna be able to show up fully, even though on the outside, right, I'm sure people watching, my friends are like, really, you think that? But that's one of those things that I've always had to come up against. And like, right, the other thing for me is like, if you're not making this money, you're not successful, which I've blown that recently out of the water, so I don't have to have that on my head anymore. But I did a lot of work around that one. But I do struggle with like, what do I not know that I'm doing to myself?
Here's the piece that you do know. You can watch your habits and reverse engineer them to what your subconscious programming is. So as a high achiever, because I'm hearing you're in the same high achiever club, we will overwork, to prove our value. We will overthink to get it right, right? We want to get it right. We will self-sabotage, which I heard you say had been happening before, and now you've broken through that ceiling. These are indicative markers of high achieving women. Like, this is how we show up unconsciously, right? Like, we don't even necessarily realize. So the moment you see that you have a habit that is what I call disempowering, and there's no shame here. There's no, oh, I shoulda, like, none of that. From now on, in the future, next time, when I see this habit come up, this is who I want to be, and this is the action I want to take. And so I'm going to pause and look at this disempowering habit. When I reverse engineer it, I can take it all the way back to what did I think about this? What did I believe about this?
And that's how you rewire your brain?
That's how you start to rewire your brain, is realize that. And then you start to take new actions. You start to cast new votes. You start to believe better thoughts about yourself. And so we can share stuff.
Like, one of the things that I always do, like, so I'm in the middle of a launch right now, and I'm like, it's already happened. It's already coming. But 3 weeks ago, I was like, you can do this. This is available to you. Like, those are the things I had to tell myself when I wake up in the morning, because what we do is sometimes terrifying, and it's actually really hard, right? Even though I'm out there on national TV and live TV and I do all this stuff, sometimes just doing this is hard. And I find myself doing the story. I call it stories, but I'm sure you have other words for it. And I'm like, okay, just as an example of what we could be doing to ourselves, like, instead of, I can't do this, this is too hard, I'm going to fail, right? I think of it that way. But what you're telling me is I'm actually working on the subconscious, which I had no idea I was doing.
Well, so all of these stories typically show up as protections, right? They show up to protect us, and we don't question them.
Right.
Oh, this is a protection. Your brain, as evolved as you are, your brain, that primal brain, has never evolved past, is this a tiger chasing me, or am I going on live television? Right? Like, it hasn't passed that up. So everything is going to come up as a protection for you alive. And now it's keeping you, for lots of us, in the known zone. So some people call it comfort zone. I call it known. You know how to be, you know how to act here. You know what to say here. You know how to show up here in this known zone of, I can't, I won't, possible. It's practiced in you. And again, no shame. This is your opportunity to go, oh, wow, like, my known zone deserves some expansion. Like, I deserve some expansion. And so telling those affirmative stories in the direction of what you want, like you were saying, so we can call them affirmations. I love to stair step affirmations, because most of us go from I'm broke to I'm a millionaire. Like, that's a great example. No.
Doesn't really work that way.
And so we get to stair step that. We get to acknowledge where we are and say, well, I'm a woman who is learning to manage my money. I'm a woman who can have successful launches. I'm a woman who is putting pieces in place for the most successful launch yet, right? Those type of things, because here's what we're doing. Remember, when our RAS is bringing us what we expect and what we anticipate, we start speaking those words.
Right.
That's what we're going to start seeing. The more we say I can't, the more we're going to see proof of I can't. You win. Your brain wants you to win all the time. So the more we say it's possible, the more we start thinking in the direction of, what if I showed up differently, the more we see the solutions that get to come in that way and not cut ourselves off from that.
Yeah, I appreciate that so much, because I come up against, clients pushing back on that, or just friends of mine, because I really do come to the, like, why not me? And most people come to it with the why me. But what do you think are the women's, because we both work with women, the biggest mistakes they're making when it comes to actually instituting or rewiring their brain?
One, they're trying to out hustle, instead of, they're thinking it's the next strategy externally when it's an internal.
Really?
strategy.
That's so funny.
They
Like,
are.
you have to buy this course and buy this course and buy this course and work with this person, and it's actually like you're not doing whatever the X is.
Yes.
Ooh, that's interesting.
You're not realizing the meaning that you've given to something that is now this roadblock that is causing self-sabotage without you even understanding. This is how quickly we get something. Someone cuts us off in traffic, we immediately say jerk or something even more aggressive, right? Like, what? We just instantly make a decision and give that action a meaning. We never revisit it. Imagine how many times you've done that with things in your business, with ways of being, with identity, where you're like, nope, that means this, right? Nope, that means this. You never go back and revisit it. So now you're trying to out hustle that without realizing that you've made a decision about something, a limiting decision.
Right.
And so you keep smacking up against this limiting decision.
Wow.
You've decided that ads, if you're looking to do ads, you've decided that ads are strictly an expense, a cost, a money suck. They're a gamble. You can't, instead of flipping that, reframing that and saying, well, what if they were an investment? How much am I willing to invest in these ads in order to create XYZ? Right. Just that flip right there for us is a difference maker. And the strategy didn't change. It was how we were perceiving it. We rewired, to see it in a more empowered way. Right.
And being vibrationally aligned, or having the energy around the positivity of it versus the negativity of it. Because as entrepreneurs, there's so much of that we have to live in every day. Because, like I said, I'm launching my group program right now. I've had conversations when there's a no, right? And I can make that about me, or I can make that it wasn't a right fit. Like, we can create the story of whatever it means. But when there's those things that are ingrained in us from childhood, and like, I want to just go back to like the subconscious that we don't understand, because I just think it's important for us to really like pinpoint that it's those habits. And I want you to talk about like how we go back and think about what those habits are, or recognize what those habits are, so that we know we need somebody like you to help us through that. Because listening, everyone's like, oh, I can kind of change the way I think, but working with you, working with an NLP practitioner like you are, it's a different level of getting to the root of it.
It is absolutely a different level.
Oh wait, we have I'm going to interrupt you 1 second. I apologize, but we have a friend of mine who's on that. She said that she had that mindset and thought about emails that don't work and a waste of time. It was so wrong thinking. She landed a 10K client from that email, from rewiring her brain. So yeah, nice, very nice. Okay, go ahead. I wanted to acknowledge her because she's been on the call for a little bit. Thank you, Andy.
I love that she shared that, and let's ask her what allowed her to recognize that this was her belief pattern, and proving this over and over again in order to then go back, because she might not have even realized this was the limiting belief. This was the subconscious programming. Because here's what we'll do. We'll just operate in the subconscious programming. So emails are hard. Emails don't work. Like those types of things. Well, what are we going to do? We're going to subconsciously self-sabotage in that. We're going to take too long to write them. We're going to, it's all the things, because we anticipate and expect in the direction. The first thing I'm going to say about needing to understand where the belief came from, not necessary. Like, we don't, it's not therapy. We don't have to go all the way back. If we can get there, great. Great. We can pinpoint it, great. If not, we can decide right now, okay, how do I get to show up? Your identity is the magic that happens in taking the aligned action towards what you say you want. Yep. So I can see half someone's comment here. Oh, there we go. I thought I wasn't an email person. Then I heard my Reiki healer say, your thoughts create your reality. Well,
100%.
Because of your RAS, because of the way your brain works, because it's deleting, distorting, and generalizing. So it wouldn't even show you the proof that you already have in your reality that emails work, because you can't take all this information in until you go, I wonder if emails could work for me. And then boom, all of a sudden, this is the Bader-Meinhof theory. So I don't know if you're familiar with that,
No.
but this is the, wow, I'm going to get a new car. I'm going to go to the car lot, get a car. Oh my gosh, there's the cutest little white car. I have never seen this car before. I drive off the car lot. I look around.
Yep.
And this car, little white car. That's the
Right.
Bader-Meinhof. And I'm just
Okay.
going to squeeze that down to, we don't see it until we see it, right? We don't know until we know. And so then the moment we decide, what if I allowed there to be more ease in my email marketing? All of a sudden, we're seeing all these places popping up where there gets to be more ease that we couldn't see before. Your brain is protecting you from an overload of data. You can only process so many bits at one time.
Oh, my brain is like overloaded with like everything that I've been doing, like, you know, and all the things that, and I work like this. Like, I'm not thinking all the bad things I'm doing. I'm actually thinking of all the good things I'm doing, because I'm like, I did this for this launch, and this is why this is working. This is why this is working. But there's always another level, right? There's always something else that's trying to keep us down. There's always something, you know, I didn't send that proposal fast enough. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. So it's a never ending journey. How do you suggest for people that, like, when they come up to that, like, I've conquered something, you never conquer it. You've gotten to a point, you know, I've done this work. How do you help yourself to keep going? And I wanted to go back to, like, that's where you come in.
Yes, exactly. So there's two things about that. One, in one conversation with you in 2 minutes, I hear your limiting beliefs. And I don't mean you specifically. Yeah. I in general, right. The words that we choose are such markers to me of what you're believing about who you are and what you get to accomplish. Right. And so that's one reason to work with me, because I'm instantly going to say, here's what I heard you say. What does that mean? And boom, right? Immediately it's opened up, right. And we're wiring that. The other thing is that momentum. Mm-hmm. So you do learn how to, clients who work with me have this elevated awareness of the words coming out of their mouths and the ways that they're showing up. They have this elevated awareness of, oh, I'm feeling insert XYZ here. What's going on? What am I thinking? And what am I doing that's causing this? There is just this crazy elevation of, who am I being and who do I get to be? Ooh. That is new North Star. And I don't know if you're familiar with James Clear or not. I love the book Atomic Habits.
Yes. My son loves that book.
James talks about casting votes, right? I use this all the time because it is just perfect. We don't want to be run one race. We want to become runners. The difference is our identity, not just the action that we're taking. And that's the other piece that happens when you work with me specifically and a coach like, although I don't think there's anyone like me, just like, I don't think there's anyone like you, right?
Thank God there's only one person in the world.
Well, this is true. I would say that. Right? I don't know if the world can handle the identity that we begin to create, where we move away from just the action, like the hustle action, and we become, in our identity, at our core, runners. Okay. We show up differently, right? If you become, in your core, a badass launcher, not just you're going to get through one launch, right, Beth? Yeah. No, Beth is a badass launcher.
I am.
Exactly.
Badass launcher.
And that version of you is different. Yes. She takes different action. She speaks differently to herself. She looks at things differently. She has a different filter that's allowing things to come in. And that's all part of your process.
I honestly, this launch has been totally different, because I last year I started doing that work. I actually had a woman who does not what you do, but in the subconscious reprogramming section of the industry. And I started learning and listening and learning a lot from her. And I was like, oh, because I was doing a little bit of it, but it's really, for me, it's about the ability to show up as that person, like you said, who I wanted to be. And that's what I do for my clients as well. It's like, I give them the space to figure out who that person is. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't have your skills to help them get there, but I make the space for them to figure out, you know, who's that person that goes on live TV and doesn't screw up and says everything right and does a good job versus being able to, you know, a lot of people will be like, well, I can't go live. And I was like, you can't.
Well, I love that this is where what you shared, because here's the next key in rewiring your brain, and that is mental rehearsal.
Yeah.
And this is Olympic gold athlete level stuff. Like this is what all the top high achievers are doing. They're mentally rehearsing. So your client who says, I can't go live, and you help her like have the space for, well, who's the woman who can go live? She gets to now mentally rehearse. And this is visualization on steroids. This is a process I use called the immersion process, where you're diving into a swimming pool of the outcome. So I want to go live. Okay, great. Well, what's the outcome that I want? Is it just going live, or is there more to it? Is it going live and hitting the markers that I want to hit? Is it going live and not feeling like I want to throw up? Like, what is the well-formed outcome? And once we know the well-formed outcome, we can reverse engineer. And now we get to mentally rehearse. We get to see it. We get to hear it. We get to taste it. We get to feel it internally and externally. We get to smell it. This is how this immersion method, this diving into a swimming pool, this is how we start to rewire our brains just like that, because your brain does not know the difference between real and imagined.
No.
So if you imagine yourself knocking it out of the park, going live, like it's done, you've hit the end button and you're kicked back and you're like, that was done. I did it. Not even necessarily like there was 100 people, none of that. Just I showed up as the woman who can go live and make it happen. And you get to see what you're wearing, and like, do you have music on in the background, and what's the drink taste like that you're drinking, and see your notes. This is how we align our conscious and subconscious, because our subconscious thinks in pictures and sounds and feelings. And we want to dive into all of that. So we're not just consciously writing out a goal. This is why so many of us set goals and don't get them, because we just write them out. We don't connect to them at a subconscious level in order to become the women who.
So I'm gonna go back to something you said, because, well, first of all, I know everybody watching has fallen in love with Mindi and has to work with her, because I'm seeing all these things that I'm doing now that we have to, and Mark is saying how great you are, and if you look in the chat, a lot of other people are as well. So I think in movie, I always have since I was a little girl, and I never made that connection because I do that a lot, and I just never had words to it. You just gave me words to it, because you know, being in TV for 20 years, but even as a little girl, I would just kind of think of things in movies, and I daydream in movies, and I see myself on stages. Like, I just thought that was just something that I did because I've always done that, and I creatively think that way. But now that's part of my subconscious promoting what I want to have happen in my life. I had no idea. That's crazy, Mindi.
So when you think, so here's the next level. When you see the movie, are you looking through your own eyes, or are you back watching a movie of yourself?
No, I'm in the movie.
Okay.
I'm seeing the things around me.
Okay. So you're associated. We call that associated. Now here's the next like magic to make your goals come even faster. Disassociate and see yourself. Watch a movie of yourself. So you like see yourself in the theater, watch the movie on the screen. Now you've shown your subconscious, we don't have it, but we want it. Wow. So help me go after it.
Wow. My mind is blown. Mindi, thank you so much for coming on and giving us a little bit of your genius today. Tell us how people can work with you, where to find you, all the good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me right here on Instagram. I'm hoping some of you have already followed, and I'm so excited that I got to share with you today. I am offering a free live interactive masterclass on April 3rd. All the details are on my Instagram, you know, link in bio, all that good kind of stuff, where I will teach you how to go from goal setter to goal getter and tap into that subconscious piece that we all, this is why your smart goals, right, are letting you down, because they don't talk about aligning your subconscious. And this is that next, this is that high achieving next level, like make all the difference to tap into that secret ingredient of your subconscious, which you operate 95% out
Right.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to try to make it. So I want everyone else that gets to watch this and gets to watch the replay, please come so you can learn a little bit more from Mindi like we have today. Mindy, you made a big impact on me today. I really appreciate you.
Thank
I appreciate you
you
coming
so much.
on. I just think everyone needs to learn from you. I hope anyone that's watching that has a group, a community, a stage for Mindi to go on and really teach her stuff. I think it's really important because every day I hear entrepreneurs who are giving up, and it makes me so sad because the reason you're giving up is because what's in your head. It's not about your purpose. It's not about your impact. It's not about how many people are signing up for your group program. It's that you no longer have the faith in you, and you're allowing the fear to take you away, to go get a job in a store or go get a job somewhere else. I know we all, every once in a while, I'm like, oh, I'm done. I can't, but it makes me really sad that a lot of women who been in the business for not a lot of time are giving up. So I hope that this message gets to them today. I hope your message gets out to your visibility gets to be out there. You'll be on my page, and I appreciate you so much. Any last words of wisdom, Mindy?
I would love for everyone who's listening and who watches the replay to really consider, again, there's no shame. This is from now on, in the future, and next time. You have everything that you need inside you right now. Right now. It's literally rewiring to unlock your magic. That's it. You have everything that you need, including the brains to go, wow, I need some help. Like, you have everything that you need, all the internal resources. The pivotal question that you get to ask yourself consistently: who am I being and who do I want to be? The moment that you know who you want to be, you can start casting votes towards being her. Like right now, you want to be a millionaire. You don't have to wait until you're a millionaire to start acting like a millionaire. You want to be on live stages consistently. You don't have to start acting and waiting until you're on the stage to start acting like the woman who's on live stages consistently. There are things you can do right now, and that helps you build that self-confidence and that self-esteem, and it shifts your filter for you. So who am I being? Who do I want to be?
I love it. I know who I'm being, and I'm going to show everybody who I want to be. Thank you so much, Mindi, for coming on. Once again, follow Mindi, go with Masterclass. Hopefully I'll see you there. If you're signing up, please take a screenshot and tag Mindi and tag I that you're going to be there, so we can all celebrate you as well. Thank you, Mindi. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.